This will just be a quick overview of the basic operation of an AEC centrifuge panel. First thing you want to do is make sure your machine's plugged in to your panel and your panel is plugged into power. Once you do that, this will be the first screen that appears. It's broken down between your 3 VFDs, your main, your back, and your feed. Each breakdown will have drive-related set points like VFD temp, voltage, RPM, amps, and torque. Those are showed in numerical and then also on a bar graph. In the bottom, you'll see there's the different screens you can go to. You have settings, motor rotation, trending, hour meters, alarm history, and help. I'll just review each of these real quick. The first one I'm going to go into here is settings. It will prompt you for a password. This panel is already set up for a client, so I'm just going to black you out while all right. So once that's entered, it'll bring you to your centrifuge settings. There's 6 pages of settings. First one is just centrifuge related stuff like gearbox ratios, shift ratios. All that information is entered on the right hand side. If you want more information to which each setting is, there is a green question mark. If you press on that, it'll give you a breakdown of what each setting does. So centrifuge is first, then you have your pump throttle downs, your operation, so you can change your clean out time, idle mode settings, stuff like that. Min-max settings for all your motors. The preferences is just, I will review this back on the main menu, but there's plus and negative buttons to increase your speed. This is just what increments it goes in. You also have a temperature, switch it from Fahrenheit to Celsius, depending where you're operating. And then a hour meter page, which is just all your resets for your hour meters, which we'll review later also. So we'll go back to the main. These are your speed adjusts. So you'll see it changes. If you want to actually enter a speed, it will let you enter something that's between your min and max. Next, we'll go to motor rotation, which is extremely important. This should be the first thing you do as soon as you get to a new site or rig up again. It's pretty basic. You got your machine plugged in. First thing you do is one at a time, just jog your motor up. When it's jogging, you can go check to make sure it's spinning the right way. If it is, perfect. If not, all you have to do is shut it off and wait for it to speed down. It just switched by the switch to turn the direction. It won't let you change it unless it's stopped. So it's slowly speeding down right now. Once it's stopped, hit the switch over. I usually test it again real quick, but it should be spinning the right way. You'll go through that, do that for all 3 drives. And then yeah, the next page will be trending. So this is just a graph representing how the machine's been running during a certain time period. So right now we're showing about 15 minutes. The different colored lines represent different values, and you can just view how the machine's been operating. So there's 3 of these, 1 for each drive. So you got your main, your back, your feed. The next page is your hour meters. So this can be used to figure out when you need service on your machine. Job processing hours are the only ones that can be reset from here. All the other setting hour counters can be reset, but that has to be done through that setting page for the hour meter reset. Next page is your alarm history. So this will log any faults. Once it's cleared, though, it'll reset the fault list. So for example, if we get an emergency stop, you'll see it's logged an emergency stop. To clear it, just hit clear. The last of the pages is the help page. This is just access to the Fuji manual for the VFDs. So if you get any faults on your VFDs, you can just go into here and go to your fault list. It will load a PDF file of the manual, and it will give you a help on whatever fault you see. It's 350 pages, so just the next arrow goes to the next page. So once you've checked your rotation, we go back to the main screen here. This is where you'll be running it from. In the top right corner, this is where you select your centrifuge and pump. So this panel's for Paragon. They run 5 different types of machines, as well as 6 different feed pumps with the same panel. When you load each centrifuge, so for example, say they're running a Lynx 40 and a 7 horsepower pump, As soon as you go back to the main operation, this will preload all your shift ratios and everything into your settings page. And then you should be ready to run. So I'm just going to do an example of 500 RPM. Sorry, 800 RPM, as 500 is less than the minimum. Hit start. One of the settings you'll see in the settings is your purge time. So for these panels, normal it's 60 seconds. I've just turned it down to 10 just for a quicker video. That'll run just your back drive and main drive at a set speed to clean out the machine before you actually run up into operation. This will be the same when you shut it down. Once the main drive shuts down, it will do its clean out cycle again. So main drive is running. It won't attempt to get to your differential until it's at speed. And then for your feed pump, there's also a setting in the scheduling screen, which is a min speed the machine must be running at just to prevent it from being packed off. So it won't let me start it until the main reaches 1,000 RPMs. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of operation. Like I said, you can enter all your speeds either in the keypad or through the up and down arrows. So your diff is the same way, same as your pump speed. One other setting, I guess, would be idle mode in the bottom corner there. We use this lots up in Canada to prevent machines from icing up, and also down in the southern states from making sure that anything left in the machine doesn't get baked in. It just keeps your machine rotating at a certain speed. So for example, this setting page has it to 800 on the main and 500 on the back. When you go into the idle mode, it will shut your pump off and just run your main and back drive. So no new fluids coming into the machine, it's just cycling the stuff that is left in there. And yeah, that's just a quick basic overview. Yeah, so it's ran up to speed. If you need to stop it, you just start the shutdown. It will decel. Once the main drive does get down to 0, that's when it's going to do your 10-second clean out, and then the machine will be off.